Hello, in this video I'll talk about another very important bone of the skull, and this bone is known as the ethmoid bone. The ethmoid bone is a single bone, and it is a bone that separates the nasal cavity, which is this cavity in this skull, and it separates the nasal cavity from the cranium. So the cranium, as we saw, is located in this region. So it is a very important bone in that it separates the nasal cavity and the cranium, where the brain is contained, meaning that it acts as a partition of some sort between the brain and the nasal cavity. So this particular bone has three components. It sits in that region there, where you can see those two more or less triangular shaped holes. That's where it sits. Part of its component has been removed, which is known as the cribriform plate. It has been removed and it sits in those holes there. So this bone has three components. There is what is known as the cribriform plate, and there is also what is known as the perpendicular plate, and also the lateral masses. So the cribriform plate sits in those holes, as I've mentioned, in these holes here, and it contains some kind of a sieve. It contains tiny holes, and these tiny holes function in transmitting the nerve fibers from the olfactory nerve, which is cranial nerve number 1. So these nerve fibers emanate from the olfactory bulb of the brain, and then they are distributed through these holes of the cribriform plate of the ethmoid bone. So this is how these nerves or nerve fibers find themselves at the caudal end of the nasal cavity. They are responsible for the sense of smell or olfaction. So then the other part of the ethmoid bone is, of course, the perpendicular plate. So the perpendicular plate is located in the center, and this is the one that is looking like it's dividing the cribriform plate into two parts. So this is the perpendicular plate. It's got a ventral part and a dorsal part. So in life, it normally continues into the nasal septum. So it forms part of the nasal septum. Then, of course, the other last part of the ethmoid bone is are the lateral masses. The lateral masses are the parts that are located on the lateral aspect of the ethmoid bone on the sides, but they form the medial part of the bony orbit, or the orbit in which the eyes sit. So part of that lateral mass forms this bony orbit or the eye sockets. On the other side also you have the lateral mass of the ethmoid bone contributing to the formation of the bony orbit or the eye socket. So there you have it. That's the anatomy of the ethmoid bone, a very important bone indeed. Thank you for